they can go to hell as far as I'm concerned.
With Greenpeace unwilling to help the Sea Shepherds with the Japanese whaling fleet's location, the crew becomes increasingly frustrated.
Right now we're heading towards coordinates. Obviously, until we prove them correct, there's no way to know whether we're being led on or not. Hopefully, when we get there, they'll be there.
In the skies above the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary, helicopter pilot Chris Altman continues to investigate the anonymous tip on the Japanese whaling fleet's location.
Information's 6 hours old, so, if they're steaming east at fleet speed between 15 and 20 knots, then they're not going to be here.
To make matters worse, the damaged propeller blade continues to limit the helicopter's range. But in his eagerness to locate the Japanese, Chris chooses to push the limits. If he does get a visual confirmation on his target, the Sea Shepherds will need to be prepared for immediate engagement.
We can't see them on the radar yet? Not yet, no.
Due to limited visibility from the air, the bridge keeps an eye out for possible ships on the horizon.
Kind of looks like a ship shape. Yeah, so just first check it out. Yeah.
Chris circles around to get a closer look.
Yeah, it does look like one, but it's just hard to tell, so we'll know here in another 2 or 3 minutes. We'll let you know.
A helicopter bridge.
Unfortunately, that target turned out to be an extremely deceptive iceberg.
The growlers are increasing in number. The search for a tabletop iceberg has put the Sea Shepherds in danger.
This is a fine ship which wasn't built with any ice classifications. She's not heavily constructed, so it's only suitable for very, very light ice, if any.
Please let us get through the ice without crushing anything into it.
Yeehaw, okay. It's a good day to die.
If the Sea Shepherds don't lose the trailing spy ship, they will never be able to catch the Japanese whaling fleet again.
Where's all this water coming from?
Somebody told me that water was coming in. If we sink and end up in the boats, hopefully I'll make it to the lifeboat. If I don't,
We could have messed up.
Maybe the open water is actually on the other side of these two icebergs, or I don't know.
right.
Antarctica is a little disorienting.
The bridge crew has missed their turn, and the Steve Irwin is extremely far off course. The clock is ticking. If the crew wants to stay on the Nishan before it changes location and slips away, the Sea Shepherds will have to travel a far more dangerous path through the ice field.
If we get ourselves to ice and the ice closes in behind us, then we're in some serious trouble.
That looks real thick right ahead there. Yeah, I know.
I'm not on a suicide mission, and neither is Paul. But we are determined to do what we can to stop whaling, and if it takes us going into ice like that, I'd give it a shot.
Captain Watson is faced with a difficult decision. He can attempt to drive the Steve Irwin through the treacherous ice field, potentially endangering the lives of all on board. Or he can fall back and retrace his steps, allowing the Nishin Maru to continue its operations unchecked and potentially slip away.
It was bouncing all over the place. It was pretty tough for the guys on the lines to hold it in place.
There's definitely people that don't realize how dangerous it is. Especially when you're swinging around, a 5,000-pound boat.
We're in the business of taking risks, otherwise we wouldn't be down here.
The Sea Shepherds scramble to launch the Delta boat as the weather worsens.
Okay, well, bring it down. I'll stop the ship.
Paul must slow down the ship in order to launch the small boat safely. But the Yushinmaru is getting away.
Time away, 31.
The Yushinmaru 2 speeds away. The Delta is lost, and the Sea Shepherds can only assume the worst. The Sea Shepherds have completely lost contact with the Delta. All they can do is sit and wait. Pushed by the intense Antarctic winds, the ice rapidly closes in, threatening to completely encircle the Steve Irwin.
It's a real bad condition to be in. You're no longer in control of your vessel. You have relinquished control to Mother Nature.
This is huge. You know, miles and miles, maybe even 100 miles of ice blown by 40-knot wind. It'll crush a boat like that. You know? It wasn't a good place, you know, for the boat to sink, and boats sink.
We did just take three pretty good little bumps.
Yeah. Getting ready to make sure that I can help out as soon as it's necessary.
Well, I think when people start to say that, we're okay, we can just get in the life raft and just wait to be picked up, and that'll be that. But it's the thing that you do to avoid panic.
What the hell was that?
Right at the moment, we're looking for a way through the ice. Antarctica's to the west or to the south, really. This says west. You know, I'm not really a book-learned sailor, and so I haven't gone to school to study ice charts. So there's probably some sort of science to it. But I don't know what it is. We're going right along the ice sheet here looking for an opening, which the ice charts tell us there is, but we actually haven't found yet. So maybe we're looking for a hole that doesn't exist. I've always trusted my eye much better than I've trusted anything that I see on, you know, computers or colored pictures or any of that stuff, you know. They're all crap as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen one real ice map that meant anything close to what I view out the window.
If the Sea Shepherds do not find the narrow path to open water, their campaign to stop the whalers may be over. As morning dawns, Mal and Luke arrive for the early shift and check on the Steve Irwin's progress.
Continuity of information from watch to watch is a bit of an issue, I think.
They discover that during his watch, First Mate Peter Brown has ignored the ice charts, and they have missed the crucial opening in the ice.
Desperately hoping to find the fleet and shut them down before we head back to port.
The further they run, the more fuel we use. If we do eventually catch up with them and there is a confrontation, it's only going to be short-lived because we've got low fuel, we're going to have to go back.
I'd take anything at this point, really. We better find them soon because we don't really have that much fuel or even water left.
It has been 10 days since the Sea Shepherds have had any sign of the Japanese fleet. and there is little time remaining before the Steve Irwin must return to port.
We have to find them today or else we're going to have to go home because...
It appears the Japanese whalers have set up new defenses to protect their deck from small boat attacks.
From what I saw from the cockpit, there's no way you can mess with them without seriously risking your life.
They're definitely organized. They put some thought into this.
We don't retreat, we don't surrender. We just continue to persist in doing what we're doing. So there's nothing they can do that can stop us.
They know that we're coming, and they're going to see us coming, and they're going to have every single person out on deck waiting for you. The days of them hiding inside and just waiting for us to finish our business are over.
With the harpoon ship pulling away, Paul is forced to concede that the day is lost and calls off the action.
All right, we'll have to call it off there, Chris.
Copy that. Gemini, helicopter, over.
Helicopter, this is Gemini.
Cancel the mission and return to the ship.
Roger that, we're changing course now, over.
In the time that it took me to fly back to the small boats, the weather had already kind of turned a bit foggy and misty.
Bridge, helicopter, visibility has dropped down to about a mile, and the ceiling is about 400 feet.
Bridge copy.
The cloud base was basically almost to the water, and the snow turned incredibly heavy. So much snow that the bubble of the aircraft was starting to collect snow.
The visibility's dropping, so you need to get these guys back.
Delta, bridge, you there, Delta?
Delta, this is Gemini, over. Delta, Gemini, over.
Delta, bridge, how do you copy?